I've always been fascinated by large bridges. Maybe it has something to do with their elegance, or maybe I'm drawn to their functionality, or perhaps I love how they bring people together by spanning otherwise impassable barriers. These structures are integral to our lives, and I believe we should invest in learning more about them. We should also invest in the next generation of young people who will solve the toughest bridge problems our society has ever faced. Years ago, my 7th grade life science teacher invested in me by inviting me to participate in my middle school science Olympiad team. Of the many disciplines in the program, there was one that particularly captivated me. Balsa wood bridge building had me hooked. I spent countless hours designing, building, and testing my plans. I developed techniques for creating square and symmetric structures using crude household instruments. I learned that a member, or any component of a bridge, behaves differently in compression and tension. For example, balsa compression members tend to fail by buckling, whereas thin, cable-like tension members fail rapidly by snapping. I had the support needed to succeed. I won the Utah competition 4 times. This 14-inch structure weighed about 2 pennies and supported 35 pounds, taking 3rd at nationals. When I started college, I only wanted to study structural engineering, and Utah State invested in me with an undergraduate research fellowship, which allowed me to begin research my first semester. Most recently, I've been working on a project involving a concrete box girder bridge. For such a massive structure, the entire span acts like a single 12-foot deep concrete beam. This bridge is located on the East Coast and provides a very important commuter passage to a major urban center. Now, this is not a picture of the specific bridge, but it does look a lot like this. The bridge came into the structural engineering spotlight back in 2012, and here's why. Bridge inspectors noticed cracking on one span, but you see, concrete is fickle because cracks do not necessarily mean the bridge is unsafe. Wanting to know the extent of damage, bridge researchers measured cracking and movement from large trucks driven over top. And this is where my research comes in. I'm using software called SAP 2000 to virtually recreate the bridge and simulate the same movements or deflections as those measured experimentally by the bridge researchers. SAP 2000 employs a mathematical principle called finite element analysis, where physical systems, like bridges, are represented by large matrices. The program can then solve incredibly complicated problems that no human could hope to achieve. Using the program, I created this virtual cross-section of the cracked span by gathering critical location points from the actual structure. Now, keep in mind, this member is 12 feet deep and supports 2 lanes of traffic on top. And these cords are called steel tendons. Like a body's tendons, they run along the inside of the beam and help support the bridge's weight. One critical problem, though, was I didn't know how well the program would model these types of members. So to check the system, I simplified the process, creating a rectangular span with a single steel tendon represented by this green line. The deflections from this calculation are easy to calculate by hand, which I scribbled on this paper. When I compared the computer results with my hand calculations, the two lined up closely. This means I can confidently apply this method to the more complicated cross-section to obtain these upward deflections, which is an important step in creating a realistic model to represent the actual bridge. From all the research conducted, including my calculations, it appears that the bridge's cracks aren't bad. In fact, the structure is safe and will last for many years to come. This research is extremely important because this knowledge of the bridge's response to loading helps save the state from spending millions of dollars fixing a bridge that didn't need fixing. I'm grateful for those who invested in my education. Investing in the curiosity of young people and advanced research will enrich our world as we learn more about the systems that affect our lives, like bridges. I'm beginning my graduate studies at Stanford University as a National Science Foundation Fellow in the fall. From toothpick bridges to a world-class research institution, I am the story of the child who never stopped trying to make better bridges.